Welcome to the Master Reset Podcast, where we take you from where you are to where you want to be. Today I'll be speaking about offense. What is a biblical definition of the word offense? Now, the New Testament was originally written in Greek, and according to the Strong's Concordance, the definition of the original Greek word that's translated as offend is to cause to stumble or to set a trap or a stumbling block. Helps Word Studies further defines offense as to hinder right conduct or thought. So if the word offend means to set a trap, then to be offended means to fall into a trap. Now, one of the hardest things to do is to serve a specific group of people without picking up the offenses. For example, it is difficult to serve the poor without being offended at the rich. It is difficult to minister to the rich without being offended at those who refuse to work despite having opportunities. It's also challenging to minister to children without becoming offended at adults who don't prioritize the life of a child. It's tough to minister to adults or seniors and not be offended by a young generation who shows them no respect. In some cases, it can also be a challenge to minister to one race of people without being offended at another race of people. Many people's ministries and callings are defined by what they are offended at, rather than by who God created them to be. These people speak more about what they are against than about what they actually stand for. We all know what it's like to be offended. I've been offended many times in my life. Most of the times when I took offense about something, I felt like I had very good reasons to take offense, as if I had the right to be offended. I felt like this when I was wronged, or when I believed that I had the moral high ground on a particular issue. Since we are sons of God, the enemy's attacks are constantly against our identity. This was precisely how Satan tempted Jesus in the wilderness, found in Matthew chapter 4 from verse 1 to 11. The purpose of a son of God is to accurately represent the character and nature of God, their Father. My reason for sharing this is to give the context for why the enemy tempts us to become offended. I don't believe the enemy really cares about what convictions we have, as long as we deviate from the character and nature of Christ to defend our convictions. When we deviate from the character of Christ, we misrepresent Him. It is possible to stand for a legitimate cause in an illegitimate way. It's not only what we stand for that must be in alignment with the nature of Christ, but how we stand for it, that must also reveal our Father's nature. When we as sons of God are disrespected by others, their disrespect toward us does not give us the right to act like the devil. We shouldn't allow the imperfections of others to justify our failure to walk in the Spirit. As God's sons, our governing influence is His Spirit. God's Spirit never approves of any behavior or response from us that does not accurately represent who our Father is. We are not to treat others the way they deserve to be treated. We are to treat others in a way that reveals our Father's heart. We don't treat people with respect because they are good. We treat people with respect because our Father is good. In other words, the way we treat others has nothing to do with how they treat us. The way we treat others has everything to do with who our Father is. Satan's ultimate weapon is deception. We are deceived when we believe lies, and an offended heart is a breeding ground of deception. When we are offended, we are the most vulnerable to believe the lies of the enemy. King Saul was offended when he heard the song that the women from all over Israel sang, and it went like this: Saul has slain his thousands, and David his tens of thousands. And this is found in 1 Samuel chapter 18 verse 7. His offended heart produced jealousy toward David, and he believed the lies of the enemy. He tried to kill David for many years, but he couldn't, because God protected David. Ultimately, King Saul committed suicide in 1 Chronicles 10 verse 4. This is the enemy's mission, to steal, kill, and destroy. Now, a fully mature son of God has a passionate desire to accurately represent the Father's nature. At the same time, he or she has a godly fear of misrepresenting him. I believe that these two key characteristics of a mature son of God are two sides of the same coin. That is, their love for God and their fear of God. King Solomon said, "It is to one's glory to overlook an offense," in Proverbs chapter 19, verse 11. Overlooking an offense is the result of wisdom. Wisdom is activated when we fear God. We overcome offense when our sole focus is on who we are representing. Our love for God and our godly fear of Him make us immune to offense. I believe that this is an expression of being the light of the world and is one of the good works that people see, which would cause them to glorify our Father in heaven. Some of you listening to this right now are still holding on to offense. I want to encourage you to let go of offense and forgive the person or people who offended you. As I mentioned before, offense is a trap of the enemy. An offended person who cannot forgive is a person who has forgotten how much God has forgiven them. God forgave your unpayable debt of sin. He expects you to forgive others as well. I want to encourage you to not fall into the trap of offense. Let go of that bitterness. Let go of that hatred. Let go of your right to be offended. Focus on who you are representing and allow that to govern your thoughts, your actions, your reactions and responses and decisions.